Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive into this, because today we're unpacking a truly remarkable story. We're looking at the unbelievable origins of a kid born into absolutely crushing poverty, someone who still dared to dream of being the absolute best in the world. Yep, we're talking about the early life of Cristiano Ronaldo. But listen, long before the international fame, the private jets, the shiny trophies, and all those broken records, there was just raw ambition and, frankly, unbelievable hardship.
Section 1. The Price of Greatness.
Now, I want to make it super clear right off the bat, this explainer isn't just about some famous athlete kicking a ball around. We really need to ask, what does it actually take to become one of the greatest football players in history? You know, it's just so easy for us to look at the billionaires and the global superstars of the world today and kind of just assume their path was paved with gold right from the start. We see the end result and totally forget the journey. But the reality, especially in this case, it is drastically different.
So is talent alone enough, or does success actually require sacrifice, pure determination, and just relentless hard work? It's a fundamental question we have to ask ourselves whenever we're looking at high achievers. I mean, we often idolize raw talent in our society, right? We think, well, you either have it or you don't. But as you'll see in the facts we're diving into today, raw talent without intense, sometimes truly painful sacrifice might just end up being a tragic waste of potential.
Moving on to Section 2. Escaping Poverty in Madeira.
Let's take a look at the ordinary world he was born into, long before the bright lights of those massive European stadiums. Cristiano Ronaldo de Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira. I really want you to picture the setting here for a second. His family home was incredibly small. They were trapped in a severe financial situation where just, day-to-day life was a genuine struggle. Yet even in that cramped environment, with hardly any resources to go around, young Cristiano had this natural football talent that was, well, it was simply impossible to ignore. It was like a beacon of hope in a really challenging world.
And this brilliantly illustrates the central dynamic of his early life. Just look at the stark contrast here. On one side, you've got the severe, daily hardship of his parents. His mum worked grueling hours as a cook and a cleaner, while his dad worked as a gardener and a kitman for a local football club, literally just to make ends meet. On the other side, you have Cristiano's sheer, unadulterated passion. Literally, from morning until night, he played football on the streets with his friends. This obsession, it was what allowed him to forget every problem. The street wasn't just a playground, it was his absolute sanctuary from the poverty surrounding him.
Section 3. The 12-year-old exile.
But, as we know, sanctuaries don't last forever when greatness comes calling. This transition marks the hardest, most gut-wrenching decision of his young life. Honestly, the sheer velocity of his childhood is staggering. Born in 1985 in Madeira, and then, by age 12, he has to pack up and move completely away from his family to Lisbon to join Sporting CP's academy. And then, by age 15, he faces a massive health crisis. These aren't just minor bumps in the road, guys. These are compounding, intense life events that basically forced him to grow up incredibly fast.
Let's just slow down for a second and really think about what that jump at age 12 actually meant on a human level. Living alone in a big city, missed his family, often cried at night, and felt homesick. Seriously, imagine being 12 years old, completely isolated from your parents, completely isolated from your siblings, and just dropped into a massive, unfamiliar city to train in a high-pressure football academy. The human element here is staggering. He wasn't some machine programmed for success. He was a terrified kid paying a massive emotional toll for just a tiny chance at a dream.
But look closely at his mindset during this incredibly dark period. Ronaldo knew that achieving greatness required sacrifice. The incredible maturity in that single truth is really what sets him apart from thousands of other talented kids. He understood, even as a young teenager wiping away tears in a lonely dormitory, that those tears were the necessary price to pay. He basically accepted the exile, the loneliness, and the pain as a mandatory stepping stone to his ultimate goal.
Part 4. A heart-stopping diagnosis.
So, immense mental toughness can only take you so far if your body suddenly fails you. Just as he was finally adjusting to life in Lisbon, doctors discovered he had tachycardia, which is a heart condition that causes the heart to beat dangerously fast. So the crucial point is understanding that this wasn't a sprained ankle, it wasn't a torn muscle or a bad knee. This was his heart. Doctors and coaches genuinely feared that his football career could end before it even truly began. Everything he had sacrificed his entire childhood for, the tears, the distance from his family, was suddenly hanging by a literal thread.
The rapid progression of events here is terrifying, but honestly, it's remarkable. First, the diagnosis of tachycardia. I mean, the sheer terror of that moment for a 15-year-old athlete must have been completely overwhelming. That quickly led to crucial heart surgery, which is a massive physical risk. But then, look at the recovery. He bounced back, returning to training stronger than ever. The resilience here is undeniable. He faced the terror of a life-threatening, career-ending diagnosis, endured the surgery, and bounced back with even more fire and determination.
Chapter 5. Ready for the World.
These severe early life obstacles, they weren't just setbacks, they were the crucible that forged a global icon. The poor boy from Madeira survived literally every obstacle life threw at him, preparing him for his biggest opportunity yet. From the crushing poverty in Funchal, to the lonely, tear-filled nights in a Lisbon academy, to a literal failing heart, he survived it all. He was no longer just a kid with raw talent playing on the street to forget his problems. He was a deeply resilient young man, hardened by life, and truly ready to take on the world.
So I leave you with this final, provocative thought to take away from today's explainer. He survived every single obstacle to chase his dream. So what are you willing to sacrifice for yours? Think about the timeline, the tears, the intense heart surgery, and the unrelenting determination we've explored today. Because the truth is, greatness always has a price. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, keep pushing, and I'll see you on the next